being self-employed isn't a highlight reel. It's none of those cheesy captions or any of those quotes that you see on the internet. Sometimes it can be hard work, and sometimes it can be very discouraging. I'm going to tell you a story from a few weeks ago, honestly, about how I was really starting to doubt myself and really where that all stemmed from and how I overcame that. On this channel, we talk about realistic entrepreneurship, finance, and travel. And because we're being a realistic entrepreneur, we're not traveling much this year. But today's video is going to be about some of the recent negative experiences that I've had with entrepreneurship and how I ultimately have overcome it so far. I started 2025 off strong by going to a ton of marketing events. Just trying to put my face in front of people, trying to make sure that I meet new people so I can generate business for myself. Over the course of going to these multiple events, I've run into different people that would always say, oh, you do drone videography or you do drone photography. Your work looks pretty good, but there's this guy that I know that also does pretty good work. And, after about 3 or 4 events, this is like 3 or 4 weeks of just like hearing, hey, there's this other guy that I have no idea who he is, but like apparently he does the exact same thing as I do. So I'm going to these events and they're like, hey, you should come to this event. The event's at like 9 in the morning. It's over an hour away from my house. With traffic, it's like an hour and a half at this point. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to make sure that I show my face at this event. I'm going to, go and do everything that I normally do at these events. Just trying to put my best foot forward. So I go to this event. I get there and the guy's there. This other guy that does drone videography and photography. I get to talking to him and I realize he knows pretty much everybody in this room. Everybody has already worked with him. They know who he is. My approach was to do something a bit different. I wanted to differentiate myself from him. So I told everybody that I did drone mapping. And that's not a lie. I do drone mapping. It's just not the thing that I'm best at. And you'll see why that's a problem by the end of this video. So I meet the guy. He's a cool guy. His work's very good, but to be honest, I am a bit intimidated that he already knows everybody in this room. So it's everybody that I walk up to and speak to, they're like, oh, your work is just like his work. I'm having a very hard time explaining that, hey, my work's not like his work. My work is my work and I feel like my work is still good enough. So I left that meeting literally making 0 contacts, and that's really my own fault because like I said, I tried to play to the room instead of playing to my strengths. So like I said, I was telling them other services that I did and they were like, I kind of get what you're trying to say, but I'm not really interested in that service. So I drive basically an hour and a half, about 3 hours round trip for nothing. Not a single lead that's going to amount to anything. I just left that event feeling really, really discouraged. So a couple of days ago, I'm at another event where there's a lot of construction firms that are in the building. And, they have their banners up and everything. And I read the banners before I approach the table so I'll know what to say to them and how to approach them. So there's this one company that does geotechnical engineering. It's basically pre-construction work, everything that you see that has to do with the ground and under the ground to make sure that buildings don't tip over and roads don't fracture whenever cars drive on them. I mean, very technical stuff, but I really felt like some of the work that I do has limited use in their department. So I go up and I start talking about map making, the stuff that I do, but it's not one of the things that I'm best at. There's 2 people at the table. I'm primarily talking to the lady with marketing, on her name badge. So the other guy stops me and he asks me, is that what you're best at doing? I told him, honestly, no, I do videography using drones as well. And so he told me that when you're at these events, you want people to remember you. You want them to be presented with the best version of you. So whenever you walk up to one of these tables, even if they don't have anything to do with your business, you need to show them your best self. And I stop him. I'm like, okay, I get it. Let me show you some of my best work. So after watching the video, he introduces himself to me as the president of the company and that I should give my information to the marketing person next to him. I was doing myself a disservice by trying to change who I was and showing a different side of myself that wasn't the best side of myself and presenting that to potential customers, because that's not what they're going to remember me for. If I get exceptionally good at drone mapping and could speak to that extensively, then yeah, they would definitely be more inclined to work with me. But right now, my primary skills are in drone videography. So remember, the people that want to do business with you want to do business with the best part of you. Don't be afraid to show that, even if sometimes it doesn't resonate with what their business has going on right now. Number one, they're always going to remember you, which means they can either refer you to other businesses who would be a better fit. I've had that happen before. Or eventually they can grow into needing you later on down the line. So to bring the story full circle and to a close, I eventually went to a different meeting where that other guy was at the same event that I was. And this time I decided that, hey, I'm not going to shy away from what it is that I do. I'm going to show everybody in the room, hey, this is my work, this is my best work, and let you be the judge on who you want to go with between me and him. I showed the video that you just saw to one of the organizers at the event. I sent them a follow-up email, didn't really get a response, but then I saw her again at an event that I went to the other day. We happened to cross paths and she stopped me and she told me that she was super impressed by my work. She had read my email. She just needed to get me connected to the right people in the company and they were definitely gonna go with me. Number one lesson is I'm glad that I stuck to being who I am and showing off the best portion of my skills and letting my clients judge whether they would like to work with me or not. Second, I already knew this in the back of my head, but sometimes we all need reminding of this. Whenever somebody else runs a similar business to you, that's confirmation that your business idea is a successful idea, because if they're making money, you can definitely make money using the same idea as well. Obviously, your two businesses aren't going to be exactly alike, but it's going to be you that's going to make a difference between your business and somebody else's business. People buy from people that they know and trust. Even though the industry may be the same, you're the difference. Always remember that. I think I'm going to end the video here. Once again, thank you so much for watching up to this point. If realistic entrepreneurship speaks to you, consider hitting the subscribe button. And hopefully you'll be one step closer to using money to create the life that you want to live.